think with the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Here he comes. Way rock the baby to sleep.
Until morning. Ewing.
Oh, wow.
He's going to try to get one more shot off the last push. The ball's there.
How about that?
Steps over to Ron Lewis. He thought about three. He'll put up a three.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Boom Broadcasting presents 3 from Deep. I'm your host, Jason Colenso. Welcome to the show. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. Guys, super excited today, of course. Thursday night, my New York Knicks get past the Detroit Pistons, so I'm feeling very New York today. Although, happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. But, man, I have to rep my New York squad here. Fantastic victory, man. I have to get into that right off the bat here. But, guys, real quick, if you're joining me the first time, welcome. Jump on Boom Broadcasting, like and subscribe. You are going to enjoy and love this channel. We have so many great content providers, so much great stuff. You got to check us out. It doesn't cost a thing. So jump on, like, subscribe, Boom Broadcasting. Do it. You'll thank me later. But man, let's jump right into the show. Excited for this Saturday, excited for the weekend, excited for the NBA playoffs are just going crazy right now. So this is some good stuff, guys. But Thursday night, a victory, 116-113. My man, MVP, Jalen Brunson, a.k.a. Captain Clutch, dropping 40. I was super worried about his health and how that ankle was holding up. And this is such a physical series for the New York Knicks against the Detroit Pistons. It's just kind of a really old school feeling series. But man, dropping 40. Great job, Jalen Brunson. Awesome performance. And of course, guys, Knicks were down 7 points with about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Ended up catching up, tying the ball game, and then with about 4 seconds to go, Jalen Brunson breaking ankles. Asher Thompson, I feel bad for you, brother. You had a great series. You are up and coming between you and your brother, amen, over in Houston. I'm excited to watch you guys flourish in the NBA, but man, you got lit up by Mr. Jalen Brunson, a.k.a. Captain Clutch, a.k.a. the MVP of New York right now. Draining a deep three for the victory. And then Detroit, I think the moment was a little too big for you, ended up throwing the ball away. You would have had a shot at the end of the game to try to tie it, but fumbled it away. That just goes to show how hard it is to win in the NBA playoffs, the pressure that it is. I mean, Detroit couldn't even win a game at home, and I feel bad for them. Look, Detroit had a great season. Last place last year, coming into the playoffs this season. Cade Cunningham, fantastic. He ended up dropping 23 in that game. Really good series for him. I think he has some things to work on for his game, but being in the playoffs for the first time, I think they played well. They had some great games against New York, but you got to win at home. You got to hold home court advantage. And they were 0-3 at home. So I kind of felt bad for the Detroit fans. They finally got there, finally got something to cheer about and couldn't get a victory. But I still want to call out Karl-Anthony Towns. You only had 10 points. You had 15 rebounds, but you only had 10 points in that game. Jalen Brunson is going to need you. 10 points ain't going to cut it. Karl-Anthony Towns, we traded for you because Julius Randle really couldn't be available in the playoffs for us, which he's flourishing in Minnesota, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But Knicks get the Celtics. New York wants Boston. You got them. 0-4 versus the Boston Celtics this year. Lost. The last game was close. 2 points, 119, 117. But other than that, all the other matchups weren't even close. Boston destroyed you. Can the New York Knicks break that 0-for series or 0-for streak, excuse me, and really make this a series against the Boston Celtics? Look, Jayson Tatum is on fire right now. Boston Celtics are a force to be reckoned with. They want to repeat as champions. They want to make this a dynasty. Jayson Tatum, probably one of the most underrated superstars in the NBA right now. I don't think he nearly gets enough love and enough credit for what he does and what he has done in Boston. And that hurts to say that with New York across my chest here. But averaging 31 points in this series, 11 rebounds in this series, in these playoffs, 5.3 assists. So he's having a phenomenal playoffs already. Went against a tough and young Orlando team. But New York, you're going to have to show up. Boston's going to blow the doors off of you if you don't play tough defense, physical. This is going to have to be a physical series. This is going to be like the Detroit series. You cannot let Boston drop 130 on you. You have to keep these games close, so it's going to be physical. And the thing that worries me with this being a physical series is, again, the health of Mr. Jalen Brunson. Because, man, we need him. He is the MVP of the New York Knicks. He should be in MVP consideration for the league. I know you have Joker, SGA, but Jalen Brunson needs to be in there. He has had a phenomenal season. You see what he has done being a part of that New York Knicks team. Without him, we are a shell of a team. Game 1 is Monday. I'm very excited for it. And I'm hoping that the New York Knicks take some of the physicality that was in this Detroit series and applies it to Boston. Because they're going to have to push Boston around. You're going to have to get them off their game. They are very efficient. They are great at what they do. And they want to repeat as NBA champions. So, guys, congratulations, New York Knicks, getting out of that Detroit series. Got some time to get healthy. So Jalen Brunson's got a few days now to kind of heal that ankle a little bit. But I want to see Karl Anthony Towns show up in this series. We need him to be a monster against the Boston Celtics because they have too much firepower. You got Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Porzingis. You got the sixth man in Pritchard. We need to combat against that. We're going to need all hands on deck. Malik Beasley, where are you? 5 draft picks for you. You better show up in this series too, or your guys are going to get blasted in the New York papers. So I am very excited, guys. Game 1, Monday night. Let's go, Knicks. We got to get one. We got to break the streak. 0-for this year. Break the streak. You get the one. You'll feel better about yourself. So that series is set. East, we have both of our conference semifinals set. So you got Knicks, Celtics. Next one that's set is Cleveland versus the Pacers. Pacers, phenomenal victory against the Bucks, playing against a phenomenal player of Giannis Antetokounmpo's stature. Of course, you had all the drama after the game, which I'm not even going to talk about because I think that takes away from what the Indiana Pacers have done, the way that they are playing. They are a phenomenal team, and they're going against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are on a mission. Best record in the East. D. Mitch trying to prove himself, Donovan Mitchell. Now, the thing that concerns me right now is Darius Garland being out. And I wrote this down. He's got the strained big toe. You know, It sounds goofy, but it's amazing. Without your big toe, you literally can't walk. So they don't think he's going to be ready. It's still up in the air, but they don't think he's going to be ready for game one. So Darius Garland being out is a big hit to them. I'm excited for this matchup. I have been hella impressed with the Indiana Pacers and the way they've been playing basketball and the way they run up and down the court. They play with such speed. Tyrese Halliburton has a chip on his shoulder right now, voted the most overrated superstar in the NBA by his peers. That's got to hurt. And you can tell by the way he's been playing that he's taking that very, very personal. So, Halliburton, Siakam's been there before. But man, those guys run up and down the court. Man, I was looking at this. Cavs fast break points averaged about 13 for the season. Pacers 17 and a half fast break points for the season. They averaged against the Miami Heat over 24 fast break points. That's how fast this team runs up and down the court with transition basketball. And that's going to be really tough for Cleveland. They have length. They have the defense with Allen down there. They got the height, but you know what? So does Indiana. But that much pace, can Cleveland keep up with the Indianapolis 500 that is the Pacers and the way they run up and down the court? Still digging on those paint splash jerseys in the paint splash court, man. I think that's really cool. Again, as a Knicks fan, that hurts me. These teams are pretty well matched up. Cavs average a little more as far as points per game, but Indiana makes up with that. They usually average more assists per game. This is going to be a defensive battle because, again, you got a lot of length. You have two of the top defensive teams in the East. The game is Sunday, still to be determined. If I haven't checked my phone, I was waiting for the time, but I know it's going to be Sunday. So that series is going to be a heck of a series, guys. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. We got two great semifinal series to watch. Knicks, Celtics, Boston, New York. You got the Battle of the Midwest with the Cavs and Pacers. This is going to be a lot of fun. This East playoffs is going to be a battle, and very, very excited to watch it. Very excited to see what's going to go on with it. Now, let's jump in the West. The gauntlet that is the Wild Wild West. Let's get a little crazy. The earth is spinning out of control. Everything is going nuts. The Los Angeles Lakers lost the series. So let's get that out of the way. Let's blow it out of proportion. Let's not. Look, the Timberwolves were a better team. Period. Rudy Gobert showing up and showing out. 27 points and 24 rebounds. Lakers, you have Luka, you have LeBron. That's great. Reeves is still a good role player, just a little bit more than that, but he was kind of invisible during these playoffs and invisible during that series. But your glaring shortages were evident in this series. Bad defense and literally no presence around the rim when it comes to rebounds, when it comes to scoring, points in the paint. They just got outmanned by them. Look, Anthony Edwards, who is a stud and turning into a megastar right before our eyes and really has a chance to elevate his stock, only had 15 points in the clinching game. But Rudy Gobert, 27 points, 24 rebounds. Julius Randle. Shout out New York. Julius Randle. I know we traded you away. Your availability was always sketchy, dude. But I'm glad you're thriving. I'm glad you're playing well in Minnesota. Had 23 points, pivotal. But there again, that's the Achilles heel excuse me, of the Los Angeles Lakers. They just did not have the height to combat with the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, excuse me, still got that crazy cough, guys. But the Lakers move on to next year. There's already talks, they're questioning LeBron if he's going to play. I would suspect he is. I think it's going to be in LA, but I think a lot of it has to do with what they do in the offseason and making some power moves. But we'll talk about the offseason later. So I don't have to talk about the Lakers no more. But those Minnesota Timberwolves, we're still waiting to see who they're going to play. Let's jump into Friday night's game. Houston, we have liftoff. The Houston Rockets use a fourth quarter blast off to just scoot by the home Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry, 29 points, but really had a bad shooting night. The whole team didn't just go cold in the fourth quarter. They were frozen. Start of the fourth quarter, Golden State was up by 2. Or, excuse me, Houston was up by 2. I turn around to get a drink and come back to the game. Next thing I know, it's a 17-point lead. Houston just blows by them. Golden State couldn't make a shot to save their lives. Playoff Jimmy and everybody else during that fourth quarter was non-existent. Amen Thompson, 14 points. His defense is phenomenal. Amen Thompson becoming a superstar right before our eyes, guys. Know him, watch him. He's not a huge scorer. He does make important shots, but man, his defense is something else, and the way he plays around the rim, phenomenal. He is going to be a stud in this league. Jalen Green, only 12 points. Still calling you out, Jalen. Jalen, you are supposed to be the alpha dog of this team. 12 important points, but you can do more, and you're going to need more moving forward in these playoffs. Hack Adams, which was weird that Golden State employed this thing. He had 17 points. Look, they hacked the heck out of him. 16 shots, 16 free throws. He made 9 of them. And they got a couple of important rebounds off of some of his misses. So the Hack Adams did not work tonight. The moment was not too big for those young Houston Rockets. And a lot of it has to do with Van Vliet showing how important he is to that team and how much of a phenomenal basketball player he is. He was kind of shadowed by Kawhi Leonard in Toronto. But now you're really getting to see Van Vliet and what kind of player he is. 29 points in that game, a pivotal game, an elimination game, a game that you would think a veteran team would be able to maneuver and outlast a kind of a rookie young squad. But Van Vliet, Dylan Brooks, you have some crafty, great veterans on that team mixed with some unbelievable talent. Alfred Sengun is an all-star and only 22 years old, and he is already turning into a phenomenal basketball player. But Houston, phenomenal defense. They made it tough for Golden State the whole game. Golden State got some points, but that fourth quarter was just was something else to watch, guys. So moment not too big for them. Sunday night, Game 7 in Houston. Golden State, you have a problem. The Houston Rockets are not scared of you. You would think that the allure, Steph Curry, the greatest shooter God ever created, you would think the championships and all that would scare them, but the Houston Rockets proved it on Friday night that moment was not too big. Phenomenal game for the Rockets. It's turning out to be a great series, so we'll see who comes out on top. Game 7 Sunday night. And then OKC, still waiting to see who they're going to play. Nuggets lose 111-105 to the Clippers. James Harden shows up in a pivotal game. 28 points. Kawhi Leonard, 27 points, 10 rebounds. So two guys that I've kind of questioned their ability to win those big games. I know Kawhi has, but lately he hasn't been available. So to see him available and playing well is good and a surprise and great for the league. But James Harden, this series and these playoffs, you're under a microscope. We know you're a great scorer. We know you're a great basketball player. But the knock on you has always been being able to lead your team deep into the playoffs and showing up in the big moments. You showed up. You'd stretch it to a game 7. Saturday tonight, 7:30. Nuggets Clippers. Everybody loves game 7. But Nuggets are at home. Nikola Jokic still has something to prove with this team. Had 25 points in a loss. Murray 21 points, but the rest of the team kind of disappeared a little bit. So this is going to be interesting. This is going to be a great, great game tonight, guys. So be prepared. But I have the Denver Nuggets winning this game. I still believe Nikola Jokic is the best basketball player on the planet. I still believe he has a better team around him to happen tonight, and if James Harden shows up. I have the Nuggets winning. We'll see what happens. Guys, these playoffs are just turning into something exciting. So East is already set. You have the Knicks versus Celtics, Cavs versus the Pacers. I have the Knicks winning, of course, because I'm not going to pick the stinking Boston Celtics, but I have the Knicks winning. I have that series going 7 games. Cleveland versus the Pacers. I have that series going 7 games. I have the Pacers winning that. The Pacers have really, really impressed me this season and in these playoffs. That team looks really good, and I think they match up the best out of anybody else in the East against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the Cavaliers not having Darius Garland, I think that's going to hurt them more than anything. So I have the Pacers in 7. I got the Knicks in 7. Eastern Conference Finals. We'll see if I'm right. And then Sunday night, you got Rockets Warriors. I picked the Rockets. I'm sticking with the Rockets. I still think the Rockets come out on top. They're just such a good team. They're such a fun team to watch. And their defense has been crazy impressive. And then I have the Nuggets. I still think the Nuggets can get past the Clippers. I still have questions about James Harden. So give me the Rockets. Give me the Nuggets. We'll see if I'm right. I'll talk to you on Monday. If I'm not right on Monday, look, I'll say I wasn't right. But if I was right on Monday, man, I'm gonna eat that shit up. I gotta wish a via con Dios to Coach Pop, Gregg Popovich, officially stepping down as the San Antonio Spurs head coach after 29 years. Started with the Spurs organization in 1994. This is the year I graduated high school, by the way. So y'all do the math. It makes me kind of sad. But started in 1996 as the Spurs coach and has been the coach ever since. 1999 champion, 2003, 2005, 2007, 2014. The winningest coach in NBA history with 1,422 victories. And to me, as impressive as Coach Popovich is with the wins and the championships and the players he has coached, guys, if you've never seen a Gregg Popovich interview and some of the sound bites he has, Google that, YouTube it. You got to watch that, some of that stuff. Gregg Popovich, and he is so smart and articulate, and some of the he doesn't take no crap either. And so you really have to watch some of his interviews, have been legendary. But with all that, the most impressive thing that for me from Gregg Popovich is the coaching tree. Mike Brown, Ime Udoka, Mike Budenholzer, Taylor Jenkins, all coming from the Pop coach tree. And more than that, the one that I'm amazingly impressed by is Becky Hammon, the head coach for the Vegas Aces, who to me should be an NBA coach. That's how good she is. But Gregg Popovich turning around and hiring a female assistant basketball coach was iconic, was unheard of. He broke a mold. He kicked down a door. That was absolutely amazing. He recognized the talent Becky Hammon had as a coach, and he let her in the door as a female basketball coach in the NBA. That to me was absolutely amazing. I still think she should be in the NBA at some point in time. I would love to see her transition. I think if anybody can, as a female head coach, Becky Hammon can. And all of that gets credit to Gregg Popovich. Now, she worked for it. She put in the work. She's great at what she does. But Gregg Popovich giving her the opportunity to coach basketball on this type of stage, that's historic. Coaching duties now are going to go to Mitch Johnson. They're taking the interim or assistant coach off of that. He's going to now be the head coach. Gregg Popovich transitioning over the president to the president of the Spurs. So he's still going to be involved in the organization, and I hope he's getting healthy. He had the stroke in November, a little bit of a health scare here and there. So I hope he's getting healthy. I want to see him kind of back out there, back on the sidelines, at least kind of watching his team. But Gregg Popovich, one of the greatest NBA basketball coaches of all time. I kind of put him on the Mount Rushmore of NBA coaches with a Phil Jackson, with a Pat Riley. Phenomenal. Congratulations, Gregg Popovich, for an amazing career. I hate seeing you go. But guys, if you haven't seen Gregg Popovich interviews, please do so. And then we got to give a congratulations. It looks like the Memphis Grizzlies are going to give Tomas Lasalo the head coaching job. They're going to take away the interim, and Thomas Lasalo is now going to be the head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies, replacing Taylor Jenkins, which I still think it was a mistake for the Grizzlies to do that in the middle of the season. End of the season, you want to move on from your coach, you do what you got to do. But do that in to do that towards the end of the season, the way they did it, that derailed the Grizzlies. That ruined that franchise's chance at any kind of success in the playoffs. Very disappointing. So, guys, the NBA playoffs are off the chain right now. I'm loving it. Knicks are still in it. We got to get some games against the Celtics. Please do not get swept. But thank you all very much for joining me here. I'm Jayson Colenso. This is 3 from Deep. You will see me back on Monday, 12 p.m., the Boom Broadcasting Network, like and subscribe. Drop me some comments. Guys, who you repping? I want to know the squad you're repping. I want to know who you have in the playoffs. Who do you think's coming out on top of this? Did the Celtics repeat? Can the Knicks get to the finals? Can you see the Cavs or the Pacers? Do the T-Wolves and Ant Edwards break down the door and make their way into the finals? So, guys, I want to hear from you. Thank you all very much for joining me. I love y'all. Thank you for the love and support, and I will see you on Monday.